Hello everyone. So welcome back. What I have planned now is that we will continue with the chapter attitude and social cognition because I really wanted to take up few of the questions that has been taken from Educart and Arihant. So so that you have an idea what kind of questions you have to prepare and what is the format of the answers. So this is going to be a complete video on the question answers only. I'm going to select few of the questions and other questions I will just scroll. You can pause the screen and then read the answers and understand the formatting. So now the first question is define attitude, discuss the components of an attitude, or it can also be what is attitude and explain its various components. So you can see here the focus is about the attitude, is on the attitude and the components of the attitude, right? So and now here what you have to do is in 2 or 3 sentences you have to define what attitude is. So an attitude is a state of mind, a set of views or thoughts regarding some topic, right? So we can remember, rote learn this definition. Otherwise we have understood also that what is an attitude, so we can define attitude as per that. Now now the concerning point above here is the components of an attitude. So attitude has 3 components, right? We had been talking about the ABC model, right? The ABC model of an attitude, where A is affective, B is behavior, and C is the cognition. So you can see here the 3 parts had been defined in a different little different kind of pattern, but this is what we had been discussing. The 3 components of the attitude are the thought component, referred to as the cognitive. So thought, understanding, learning, everything is that is the cognitive component of an attitude, right? So one second. Yeah. So what we have to further define, you can see here there are almost 2 complete sentences where the first component of the attitude has been defined. The thought component, referred to as the cognitive aspect, consists of beliefs, ideas, values. So we had been talking about the beliefs and the values and the ideas and other information that a person may possess or believe in, right? So what is the possesses means that is the cluster of the ideas that we had been talking about. You can add a little more pointers to that through the societal influence or the societal learning and the understanding the cluster of idea or the thoughts or the beliefs and the values, right? It does not matter if the information is correct or incorrect. This is very important, that we have to focus on that the cognitive aspect, maybe the information is correct or not correct. We actually get into that beliefs or ideas and understanding uh, that a person may possesses or believes in. So this all depends on the environmental and societal condition of the individual. Now the emotional component, that is the affective component, right? So emotional component or the affective, it's mentioned here also, aspect is related to the person's feeling about an attitude or an object. So you see here it's been defined as C, A and B. Usually attitude is being formed in this format. Otherwise we usually call it as the ABC model of an attitude, right? So when we have learned it this way, but usually first the cognition is developed and the emotional component, that is the affective aspect, that is being developed. It is related to a person's feelings about an attitude object. So what is an attitude object? We can give few examples about that also, like it can be global warming, it can be nuclear energy, it can be mental health, right? Anything that you can connect with, give few examples of the attitude objects. So what is it? The affective component is the person's feelings about an attitude object. So we have to include these vocabularies. Remember that we are not writing as a layman, we are writing as a counselor and a psychologist. So attitude object, cognitive, behavior, affective, all these vocabulary should be part of your learning. Now the emotional or the affective aspect of the attitude can be positive, It can be positive, negative, or neutral, right? So it can be positive. We had been talking about the positive means there is some kind of assertive aspect, like we discussed in the when we talked about the behavior components, right? So behavior are three types of behavior aspects: assertive, and then aggressive, and then passive. So the cognitive component is like it based on the whether the information is correct or incorrect. But when you get in connect with that particular attitude object, your emotional connect can be either positive, negative, or neutral, or you can say assertive, aggressive, or neutral, or the passive. So either you can be in the favor of that or not in favor of that, or you just can stay passive or neutral, right? This is the emotional component. So this is how we will define. I want you to share few examples also of the attitude object, and then so that the entire information is correct. Now the third is like first you get into the cognitive aspect, then the affective aspect, and then the behavioral aspect. That is the tendency to act according to whatever your connection cognitive cluster of ideas, and then the emotional component. Based on that you get into the behavioral mode. That is the how you actually take the action based on that cognition and the emotional aspect. It is related to the impact of various situations or objects that lead to an individual's behavior based on cognitive and affective components. So here you see various situations or objects, right? So situational and environmental impact has to be mentioned wherever you are defining the behavior or the learning of an individual. Only this component of attitude is visible. This is very important, that you have formed certain beliefs and ideas, and then you got emotionally connected with that. This is one, this is second. But what is visible is the action, right? This is the action that actually is based on the cognitive and the affective part of attitude. Okay, now let's move on to second question. Are attitudes learned? Explain how. Are attitudes learned? Explain how. Or there can be other format of this question: explain the conditions in which leads to the learning of the attitude. So now this is the direct question, that they are assuming that attitudes are learned. In the first question it's been asked that are attitudes learned, right? So it can be in two forms. Yes, attitudes are learned, of course. Attitudes are learned because we actually learn it through the societal impact, societal aspects around us, what is the environmental condition, and this is what basically becomes a understanding of if you can recall the social learning theory of Bandura, right? So it all depends on how we are actually exposed to the environmental condition. Yes, attitude are learned. It can be explained as further. Right, now moving forward, learning attitudes by association. Now what leads to the learning of an attitude? So what are the conditions? So if you see, this is very it depends on the common sense also, that we learn attitudes by association. We learn attitudes by rewarded or punished. So if we can recall the classical conditioning, Pavlov's classical conditioning, there we actually reinforce the behavior, that is a positive or negative behavior, through rewards and punishment. So attitudes are a set of behavior only, because we see that they're based on the cognitive and affective model, cognitive and affective aspect, the behavior is developed, that is visible, right? So it is also learned through reward or the punishment. So now let's take the first point: learning attitudes by association. A positive attitude towards the subject is learned through the positive association between a teacher and a student. So what is the association? Like what is the rapport building? Basically, what is the rapport? Like if you have a positive rapport, or if you have a negative rapport, or if you have a passive rapport between a teacher or student, or any person, individual 1 and individual 2. right? So here this becomes the learner, and this is where basically from where the person is learning. So either it can be teacher or a student or any other person. The step 2 model, that we have two step model, in which we have also understood that a person learns the attitude by some other person. The other person can become a role model or can showcase the particular attitude. Students often develop a liking for a particular subject because of the positive qualities of this teacher. So here the example of student is given. We can give example of some other also, that a person who is in regular contact with a person 2, where the person 1 is observing person 2 on a regular basis. So what are, because of the positive qualities of the teacher, the student has learned a particular subject, right? So this is basically one example that you can give, that liking of a particular subject because of the positive qualities of the teacher, disliking of the particular subject because of certain qualities of the teacher, the person is not liking, right? Now attitude is learned by rewards and the punishment. If an individual is praised for showing a particular attitude, right? So we all remember the classical conditioning, and the operant conditioning. In fact, it is the operant conditioning by Skinner, where you are learning attitude by learning behavior by rewards and punishment. So if you are praised, you will show a particular attitude. If you are not praised, you will start declining towards that attitude, and so on. For example, if a child gets the honor of being Miss Good Health in her school by practicing yoga, right, she will develop a positive attitude towards yoga, right? So this, or she will develop, or she can, reinforce this to some other person, right? Some other person might like. So here the learning by association can also be associated with this example. So you can create your own set of examples when you are actually defining. Now let's move on to a few other points. Learning attitudes through modeling, right? So two-step model we have already learned, that through modeling, that is observing others. This is basically the social learning, right? Social learning by Bandura. So Bandura had already explained that when you observe others, you learn certain attitudes. We learn attitudes by observing others being rewarded or punished. Being rewarded or punished for expressing thoughts or showing behavior of a particular kind towards the attitude object, right? So here you see the reward and the punishment and the attitude object, all vocabulary has been included. For example, so what is the example given here? Children may develop respect for elders by observing that their parents show respect to elders. There are other examples that we can also take example of, because we can give example of the school premises, that a child who had been performing good in academics or being rewarded, so other children will also start observing and learning the attitudes through that. And few other examples also, you can make your own examples. Now the next part is learning attitude through group or cultural norms. So whatever we learn in the cultural norms, through the group or the cultural norms, because we are human beings, so we are always part of, in Indian context, when we were studying groups. So in Indian, we had been studying that the individual is part of the group, right? So we are always impacted by the group or the cultural norms around us. So norms, what are the norms? Are unwritten rules about the behavior that everyone is supposed to show under specific circumstances. So when you are part of a group, you have to follow certain norms, and then you actually learn the attitude. Over time, these norms may become part of our social cognition. Now over the period of time, what happens is this actually replaces our cognition. So in this part we actually understood it does not matter if the information is correct or incorrect. It becomes part of our cognitive aspect, right? So in what is being mentioned here is it becomes part of our social cognition, because this is part of the group and the cultural norms. For example, by seeing the offerings of money. So what is the example given here? By seeing the offerings of money, sweet fruits in religious places, individual develop a positive attitude towards such behavior and the associated feeling of devotion. So you can always give other examples that when a child is observing his father being a part of a group who is running regularly on the weekends, the child will also start understanding the importance of running and how it benefits and how it actually inculcates a positive societal environment. So you can give n number of examples for the group setting and the cultural norms. Now another example is learning through exposure to information. This is very important, that learning through exposure. So what is exposure to information? Many attitudes are learned in a social context, but not necessarily in the physical presence of others. So by what does this mean? By reading the biographies of self-actualized person. So what are the informations where we are actually getting to know about some people by various resources, right? Various resources. So here biographies of self actualized person, there if we are reading the biographies, then we are actually learning certain attitudes. An individual may develop a positive attitude towards hard work and other aspects as means of achieving success in life. Okay, so these are the two questions that we have covered. I will try to make small videos. This is one a very important question, CBSE 2025 last year question only. What are the factors that influence the formation of an attitude? We had been discussing these factors aptly, and there are various different types of the questions that can be formed based on this, that discuss the factors that influence attitude formation, or describe four methods through which attitudes are formed, right? So if you say four methods through which attitudes are formed, so these are basically factors only, right? So don't get confused if you are getting questions like describe four methods through which attitudes are formed, right? So that means the factors only. So here the factor word is included. What are the factors? Discuss the factors. But in the third in the third example of this question, third type of the question, describe four methods through which attitudes are formed. So these methods are basically the factors that influences the attitude formation. So we can always give examples that we had been discussing: family and school environment and reference groups, and then moving further, personal experience, right? Personal experience is also important. Media related influence. So these all, if you see, these all are what? These all are the societal and environmental condition around us. The family and the school environment, right? The family and the school environment is the societal and environmental condition. Then the reference groups is where that provides the norms regarding acceptable behavior that we had been talking about here, right? So that actually influence our attitude formation, right? Regarding acceptable behavior and influence towards political, social, religious. So whatever reference group you are associated with. Now the third point here can be the personal experience. Like what are the direct personal experience that can drastically alter the attitude? For example, someone who survives a traumatic event may change their outlook on life or shift careers, illustrating how experiences can reshape. Now recently we had been discussing this example, that a child who is born in a low socio-economic condition, they grow up as a more resilient adult who can deal with the adult relation related problems and the adult related issues when they grow up. They are more capable of handling the situations as compared to a child who is living in a wealthy family. So a low economic condition, right? A low economic condition and a high economic condition. So this is child 1 and this is child 2. So usually what happens, this is one debate that had been happening. The child from the low economic condition, they have the personal experiences of proving their worth. They know from the very beginning that how they should tackle the life, small and big situations. So this can be given as example under personal experience. Now the media related influence, because media is part of our societal group. We actually are exposed to media directly or indirectly, be it broadcast media, be it print media, or any kind of information or news floating around us. So television, internet, textbook, right, this all shapes our attitude. So this is what had been always advised to the children, that what kind of media and what kind of news and association you should create. But this actually becomes a part of the development procedure. So like it's mentioned here, media can influence attitude both positively and negatively, fostering consumerism or promoting social harmony. Consumerism is like where we are focused more on the products, and this product is good and this is not good, or focusing more on whatever the media is supplying us through advertisement, or promoting social harmony, right, depending on the message portrayed. So this is very important aspect, the media related influence, that is that can be defined very well. So these are the four factors behind that. Actually these factors affects our attitude formation of an attitude. So we will end this here.